Duet Night Abyss has been out for around a week or so, and I feel like I want to do like an initial review of the game. Most importantly, this review is at an early stage of the game, so a lot of the things that I say here right now might be fixed in a few months. But the reason why I want to make this review is to help people to figure out if they want to play the game or not. And secondly, is also to kind of voice my opinion about the game. And right off the bat, I gotta talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant that is so big that people that don't even play the game knows about this elephant, which is the optimization. The optimization of this game is just not good. There is no way around it. Game is still pretty buggy, pretty laggy. It freezes sometimes, and I know the dev is trying to fix it as soon as they can, but at the same time, this is a major problem in my opinion, at least, because it really disrupts the whole experience of playing the game. The story is pretty interesting. I like the premise of the story where it talks about Solarians and Charons. Basically, Solarians being humans and Charon being like the demon race, and the conflict between the two races. But what I don't like is how the story starts. And mind you, the story has two MC. So one is from a Charon's perspective, the demon race, and one is from the Solarian perspective, the human race. I really don't like how they use the trope where, oh, the main character kind of lost their memory, can't remember stuff. I really don't like that trope. It's like it has been used so many times and it's just very boring. Given that the premise is so like interesting, I just do not understand why they choose the most boring way to present the story. The second MC, which is the MC from the human perspective, they have their memory intact. In fact, they are a soldier in the Empire. The second MC story is more focused about them being in the military and how Solarians kind of view high-ranking Charons in the military, stuff like that. But that is the exact reason why I don't understand they did the first MC, the Charon MC, with the I can't remember shit trope. But I do have to agree, after the first chapter, with the second chapter focusing on the second MC and the third chapter focusing on like Fantasio and other characters, I feel like the story gradually get better. Now I'm gonna talk about the combat. And the combat is the one thing that I actually enjoy about the game. If you ever played Warframe, it's exactly like Warframe. Okay, maybe not exactly like Warframe, but close enough. It's like a budget version of Warframe. The combat feels nice, but whenever I hit the enemy, it doesn't feel like I'm hitting them. I don't know if this makes sense. It feels like my attack is going through the enemy. I don't feel the impact when I hit the enemy. It doesn't give me that feedback. And I don't know what they can do to change it. I don't know if it's about like the sound cue. I don't know if it's like a visual cue or something. Otherwise, the combat is pretty okay in my opinion. I like the animation. I like the skill sets. But with combat, we can't forget about movement or mobility, because combat and mobility goes hand in hand, especially in a game like Duet Night Abyss. And I have to say, I'm a little bit disappointed with the movement and mobility, because first thing first, when you do the helix jump, maybe it's just me, but I don't feel like the momentum being carried forward, if that make any sense. I don't feel like doing consecutive helix jumps makes me faster. Secondly, the climbing, or should I say the lack thereof, is absurd. Like, we are in 2025 and there's literally no climbing in the game. Listen here, we are not climbing. We are not climbing. In Duet Night Abyss, we are just double jumping all the time to reach where we want to reach. I don't know what the heck is going on. I feel like they have to fix that. I feel like they should include a proper climbing mechanic. Now, of course, talking about combat and movement, we also have to talk about another thing, which is the multiplayer. Just like Warframe, you can do like mission with your friends. I wish we could do like boss fight with our friends too, instead of just doing mission only, because I feel like boss fights are pretty interesting and I don't see why we can't play with friends. Since we also can summon like AI to help us, why not we just have like a system where we can match with friends? I just don't see the reason to not do that. And of course, finally, we have to talk about the grinding. Surprisingly, it doesn't take too long to grind for like characters and weapons. For me, I feel like it takes about 20 to 30 minutes, around that ballpark. It could be faster, it could be slower to get like one character, which isn't too long in my opinion. As for the weapons, it's even faster, to be honest. I think for the weapons, it took me like 10 to 20 minutes. All you need is the blueprint, the blade, and also like the sword handle. But mind you, for the weapon, you do need to do a little bit more grinding, because unlike the characters, right, all you need is like 30 fragments and you can immediately exchange it for one character. For the weapons, you have to forge it. So you also need like an additional material called like the sharpening potion, and to create the sharpening potion, you need like a bunch of different materials, and then you have to do a lot more farming. So leveling up the characters and the weapons and the character skills is surprisingly easy in my opinion. It doesn't really take too long, especially if you match up with like random people that can carry you through like missions. It's actually pretty quick. I want to conclude it with this: the game has a lot of potential. The game truly has potential, because basically it's an anime style Warframe that is less complicated. It's so much easier than Warframe. If you want to try the game, it's free. You're not gonna waste a single cent. You just might waste a few hours, but you should really try the game if you're curious about it, because the best way to judge any game is just to play it.